I'm Manouk Akopyan. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you to our partners, personal injury attorney Nelson Gavorkian. Hi, everyone. I am joined by Charles Bad News Conwell, undefeated super welterweight contender, getting ready to return to the ring December 14 against Gerardo Vergara in Ontario, California, on the undercard of the Alexis Rocha Curiel fight. Charles, this has been an active year for you, which I'm sure is a welcome sight, considering you've been on the sidelines for an extended period of time throughout your career. Your third fight this year. How has the activity been feeling, especially as you build yourself up to bigger fights in one of the hottest divisions in the sport?
Oh man, I think this is exactly what I needed to bring back my career. I needed to get my face in front of the fans multiple times a year, stay active, stay loose, just getting every time I go in there, I'm just getting more and more comfortable in the ring. So you'll see more and more out of me each and every time.
That's terrific. I mean, you stopped Nathaniel Gallimore earlier this year on the Garcia Haney undercard.
Yeah.
You stopped Gray in August on the Virgil Ortiz Boachek undercard. Two stoppages this year already. Is this some newfound power we're seeing in you, or it's just you're working with what you got with the opponents?
To be honest, man, I'm just going out there just looking to do my thing. Like I said, and if I feel like somebody doesn't belong in the ring with me, why even let them even last that long? So I'm just out there doing my job, and it's just happening. So I'm excited about it. I'm happy for it, and the opponents keep getting better. So I'm excited. I can't wait.
What do you know about Vergara, an Argentinian? Obviously, we haven't seen too much of him here in the United States, but what do you know about him?
Like, I just know, like what everybody else know, I just go on YouTube and watch some videos and go from there. I just know, like you said, he's undefeated. We're both 20-0, so that's exciting. He's southpaw, so and he's coming to fight, man. He's tough, you know what I mean? So you can never count him out.
Obviously, a southpaw could prepare you for some of the big southpaws in the 154-pound division. Obviously, Sebastian Fundora, a tall southpaw, Terrence Crawford, switch hitter. Errol Spence is making his way up to 154 pounds. Perhaps we'll be fighting sometime in 2025 there. What is the outlook for you in 2025? What are the conversations you've had with Golden Boy? They've been working with obviously Riyadh season. We see Floyd Schofield, Virgil Ortiz working, being featured on their cards. Have there been any conversations for you to step up for these big time fights in 2025?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think 2025 is going to be the breakout year for me to get, like you said, to get some big fights. I'm excited about it. And I just know I'm just gonna keep progressing and keep getting and keep fighting better and better opposition each time out. So I feel like all these fights are just stepping stones for me to get to those bigger fights and those bigger names, like you said. So I'm excited about it, and I can't wait to see what they got for me in the future.
We saw recently where Virgil Ortiz and Jaron Ennis were supposed to fight. Apparently, weight might have been an issue in that agreement. I think Ennis went in a different direction. We see Virgil Ortiz now. He's going to fight Madrimov, who also has to fight Boachuk. Very strange to have two fights like that in a 63-day span.
Right.
We don't see that at the top level these days. But with Jaron Ennis, have there ever been any conversations between you two about you ever facing him?
Yeah, it was conversations that was had, but I think, like you said, with everything going on in his career right now, I think that fight would definitely be a big fight down the line for sure. I definitely like to see that fight happen.
Gotcha. So 154 pounds, whenever Enos steps up to the division, that's a fight you're looking to take.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like you said, it's a whole bunch of good people in my division, and whenever Ennis gets there and he makes a name for himself and he's one of the best, I'm definitely looking forward to fighting him in the near future for sure.
A lot of people think he's like the next generation, the face of the next generation of boxing. Once the Crawfords and the Usyks and the Inoues and stuff, they retire. Do you think he's as good as everyone makes him out to be?
Yeah, I think he's a good. I think he's a good fighter. I mean, he's a world champion. I can't not say any world champion is not a good fighter. So just in that regard itself, he's proven to be one of the best in the world. So I can't knock him for that. Can't knock
He
him.
has looked human though in his last fight. I think a lot of people were anticipating perhaps a knockout, putting away Chukagian easily in a rematch. Well, what did you make of his last performance?
Uh, I mean, he won. I mean, he's like you said, it's boxing, man. You're gonna get hit. You're going it's a fight, so you're gonna get hit. I don't. Styles make fights. Like I don't know what people want to see. Like people want to see good fights, and when good fights get made, you complain about them. Like, but I just think it was a good fight. Dude was a world contender for a reason. He was in there. He did good. He won rounds. Gave he pushed Jaron Ennis to the. We seen him push him. Seen him give him some good work. So that right there is just exciting in itself.
And what did you make of kind of that Ortiz fight falling apart? Obviously, he's alluded to going up to 154 pounds, and apparently the deal was there, and he didn't take it. A lot of people are calling it a duck on his part. But what do you make of that scenario as a fighter yourself who's been wanting these big fights, and he's been wanting them too, and to
Right.
finally get it and not have it cross the finish line? What did you make of that?
I think it's I think it's that was the fight I was most excited about the whole card, to be honest, because it's my division. So I was definitely excited, looking forward to that fight. But I think it's more to the story than just what being said. But I don't really know. But I think that fight can still be that's still a major fight, no matter when it happens. Still gonna be a good fight. Still a fight I'll be tuned into as a fan of just boxing. Period.
How, just you and Jaron kind of being around the same age, same part of the United States, coming up together in the amateur ranks. Have you two ever come across each other, sparred,
Yeah, for
anything
sure.
like that?
Yeah, for sure. We sparred. We last time we sparred probably was like 2, 3 years ago, but it's always been, what I'm saying, real good work. That's why I respect Jaron. He's a good fighter, but like you said, it's when he move up, ain't no ducking and hiding in this division. The best, so I'll be excited for it whenever it happens.
That'll be an incredible All-American showdown. Could you give us a little bit of a backstory on how that sparring went? Was it intense, just kind of
Oh
light
yeah.
work?
Oh no, it's always intense work. It's always intense work. We do 10 4-minute rounds every time we spar. So it's always real intense. It's always good work. And I'm always, we always go down there and travel and spar to get to work, because it's always some of the best work around.
Roughly how many rounds would you say you guys have sparred against each other?
Uh, I don't know, but over 50, 60 rounds for sure.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah.
incredible. So you guys are very familiar with each other.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Should it ever come down to an actual fight? And how about everyone else in the division? What kind of familiarity do you have with them? We saw Boachuk and Ortiz. Obviously, they were training under the same roof at one time,
Right,
and we saw what that fight looked like. It ended up being a fight of the year contender this year. But
right.
who else at 154 do you have experience with sparring?
To be honest,
The top guys, of
not
course.
not a lot of really top guys that's like my age, around my age, to be honest. Only other person I can say I sparred that was top guy 154 was world champion. That was world champion. Oh, it's Jared Hurd and Tony Harrison. They're like the only two other people I ever sparred that was like world champion in my division. So
Right, right. Probably around 5 years ago when they were title holders. Um, who do you think is the best 154 pounder outside of yourself right now?
I mean, I gotta give it to all the champions. You gotta give it to all the champions. Crawford, Fundora, and Mortalia. So them two they got all the belts, so they are the best on. So you just them the ones I would say are the best in the division because they got the belts.
Were you surprised of the demolition job of Murtazaliev against Sue? I mean, not a lot of
Yeah,
people
for
saw that
sure.
coming.
Yeah, I didn't. To be honest, I didn't see it coming either. I looked at Mortalia last couple fights, and I thought he didn't, what I'm saying, really pose any thing that Tim Tszyu had never seen before. So, but styles make fights, and boxing, all it takes is one punch.
I think it just also goes to show you about a fighter rising to the occasion, right? And we've been seeing it in these fights. Fundora rose to the occasion against Zoo. We saw Boachuk rise to the occasion against Ortiz. Is that like an innate trait for a fighter? Like the against a lesser opponent, it's kind of hard to not to say give it your all, but once the opponents get better, everything just gets heightened.
Yeah, I think, yeah, like you said, I just think the fighting the best bring the best out you. So see the best of a fighter that really has, he has to fight the best. So I just think that's what it really is on my end. That's what I think.
What did you make of Crawford's last performance against Madrimov?
I thought it was a good fight. I thought it was I thought it was kind of competitive, but I thought Crawford took over later on and finished the fight stronger than Madrimov. I feel like it was like a few more rounds. I feel like Crawford could have eventually maybe even hurt Madrimov and maybe got him out of there, but it's a 12-round fight.
And Crawford's at an interesting age and stage of his career, right? It doesn't seem as if he's really interested in any of the 154 pounders. It's kind of like a Canelo or bust situation for him right now.
Yeah.
What do you make of that? Do you think that's the right move for him? Do you think he has an actual shot to beat someone like Canelo?
I mean, like y'all said before, you can't count Crawford. You can't count a world champion out. I mean, I know it's a big weight jump, but as far as skill and grit and everything like that, he definitely has the ingredients to upset anybody. You know what I mean? So if Canelo's not on his A game, he can definitely have a long night and really make it hard for Canelo for sure.
You know the division inside out. There's a lot of big fights happening right now. I'm going to run through them really quickly. You just tell me how you see these unfolding. The first one is Boachuk Madrimov.
I'll give it to Madrimov. I think I give it to Madrimov. It can either be decision or knockout. I don't know for Madrimov.
Gotcha. And then we have potentially Sebastian Fundora versus Errol Spence. That fight's been discussed. It's been in the works for a while. What about that one?
I got Sebastian Fundora. That's by maybe I'm gonna say decision or maybe knockout. That's another one I don't really know. But I got Fundora for sure for the win.
Is that more about what Spence probably doesn't have at this stage, or what Fundora brings?
I think both. I think it's a little bit of both. I feel like Errol Spence been real inactive, and Fundora's been working. He's 6'6". Fundora's real tough, and I just feel like Errol Spence on the back leg of his career, and I don't think he really has much left. But I could be wrong. So.
And then if you think Madrimov is going to win, then of course it sets up that fight against Virgil Ortiz. What about that one?
I think that fight is really it's too hard to say, man. It depends on how the Boachuk fight goes. That's why I really think it boils down to how rough and hard the Boachuk fight goes. If it's easy, then that's a 50-50 fight. But if it's a long night for Madrimov and then he goes straight into the next fight, I think I'm an agent to Virgil Ortiz just because of the wear and tear on his body in a back-to-back training camps.
And you said you were looking forward to Virgil Ortiz. Ennis, if that fight was to happen, who would you have had that in that one?
That's another good fight. I would edge it towards Ennis, to be honest. I would have edged it towards Ennis. I think it would have been a real good fight, but I would edge it towards Ennis.
And lastly, on the 154 pounders on the top level, do you think Crawford could run through the division with all the other guys out there, or do you think he's vulnerable to one of the guys?
One of the guys in the division?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's vulnerable to me, myself. But yeah, I think he's vulnerable to other guys. I think he's vulnerable to other guys. I think this division is stacked. You can never count nobody out in this division. So that right there alone is just like a lot of great competition, a lot of great fights to be made in the division.
And when you sign with Golden Boy, obviously Virgil Ortiz is fighting under that banner. Mm-hmm. Is that like on the radar for you? Is that kind of what the promise has been? Like everything will culminate with a Virgil Ortiz fight? Is that something we could expect in 2025?
I mean, that's what I expect. I expect that to happen. Me personally, both sides to go to boys, easy fight to make. I feel like maybe right now I'm just building my profile to make the fight even bigger down the line right now, to be honest. But I'm definitely looking forward to a fight like that in the near future, 2025, like you said.
So, what would a perfect 2025 look like for you?
A perfect 2025. After this fight, I would love to fight an ex world champion, somebody with a name, so I can get my name out there bigger. And then after that, I would love to fight either a title eliminator or a title shot.
Gotcha. So 154 is where it's at right now for you. It doesn't sound like you're looking to move at any point down the line.
At least not until I at least win a world title or unify some belts. You know what I mean? I don't want to leave the division with nothing. You know, I got to at least win belts or some belts. You know, I can't just net up and move out the division without no accomplishment. I feel like.
And with everything you've gone through in your career, with just being on the sidelines
Yeah.
uh, for reasons out of your control, now that you kind of have this outlook where everything is within grasp, how exciting is that for you?
I mean, it's exciting. This is like everything I planned for. You know, as a first becoming pro. You know, your dream is to become a world champion. And now that I'm at the tails with just becoming a world champion. I'm right there. I'm in the top 10. I'm in sanctioning bodies, top 5. You know, so I'm right there. I'm just got to get that last push and prove to everybody I know who I say I am.
And lastly, going back to Gerardo Vergara on December 14, where you'll be fighting in Ontario, California, on the zone, co-main event, Alexis Rocha and Raul Curiel. What's the perfect night at the office look like for you on that night?
Perfect night for me for just like a dominant performance, just dominating them, just showing them that it's levels to boxing and just going out there dominating and just going out there and finishing them. To be honest, that's my perfect night for me. Going out there dominating and just finishing. So that's what I'm looking forward to doing.